Hey, Christoph.
Hey, Freak.
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
You've shaved.
Yeah. Oh, you
Nice.
noticed everything. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just shaved right before right before the stream.
I
Because my,
didn't.
my
I
you didn't, yeah. My wife likes it better that way, so
mm,
I'm doing it for her mostly. But
mm.
yeah, I'm feeling good mostly because we have some nice weather again. No more
Cool.
rain like the last week, and yeah, I love it. It's much
Mm.
better. And also things are opening here again in Austria. So I was already once climbing this week,
Oh,
which was
nice.
really good, yeah, because I missed it so much. So I haven't been climbing since October.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this was a long time for me.
That must have felt good. Yeah. You called it bouldering, right?
Yeah, right.
Before.
So
Yeah.
that's the one without the ropes.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Indeed, the life-threatening version.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you're still with us.
Yeah, yeah, I am. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. So yeah, I think in the since the last time that we talked, things opened up a little bit in Belgium as well. Was able to go to have drinks, to go to a restaurant, still with some restrictions. It's outside. It's with
Yeah.
a limited amount of people, but still, that's already very nice. Nice to have. But it's all yeah, Belgian dreary weather. Still hoping for a little bit of sunshine in the next few weeks or so, because yeah, it hasn't been great. And I mean, it's time for
Super sunny. Next hour, super heavy rain. 1 hour later, super sunny, and this was the whole day. So it was so strange, but it was a little
mm,
bit cool because it was that strange. But we're living right to an public pool. So
mhm.
we heard the kids screaming like every hour when it started to rain, and then they had fun again when the sun came out. So it was, yeah, awkward day, but seems
Oh,
to be better now.
since we're talking about the weather, I also saw something very impressive this week. Um,
Mhm.
it's something very silly, really, but I saw like the most clear rainbow that I ever saw. It was so clear that it even
Mhm.
reflected in the water. So it was
Oh
near a
wow!
small river, and you could see the reflection of the rainbow very clearly in the river. I
Do you
don't
have
know
an
if
image
I.
of that?
Yeah, looking if I can upload an image here so I can share it with you, and I think I can if I go to photos here. Just give me a minute to arrange this.
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
maybe also address the entire crowd listening at us. If there are any questions that you have for me or for Christoph, feel free to yeah, post them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep on blabbling about yeah,
Yeah,
stuff that we blabble about, I guess.
whatever
Wait,
came to our mind, and yeah, hello to Barcelona. What do we have? Norway as well. Michael here from famous spider snake country, Australia. And you
okay,
said, did you already had a beer outside in a restaurant?
yeah, yeah,
How did
a
that
couple
feel?
of the first time it was like pretty magical. It's silly how something stupid like that I can yeah, can make you feel great, because
Yeah.
if you think about it, it's really nothing special. I could still sit with my friends outside and have a beer outside in my home, but the fact that you all sit down in a place and somebody comes and brings you a drink and you can choose, it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
this is
this is
nice.
different. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also having the a little crowded place, which also feels, yeah, nice to also have people around, even if you don't know them. So I think that's also something that we all promised.
yeah. Okay, I'm uploading the photo. This one.
Bum, 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 bum.
Pam pam pam. Indeed, you know me. Uploading overlay, and it's the spinner. and here you should see it.
Oh, wow.
So it blurred a little bit the colors out because yeah, compression, I guess. But yeah, you can see it very clearly, right? And
It's really nice.
it was like a full rainbow. So see, let's see if I
From
have
beginning
another
to
one
end, or?
here from beginning to end. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to upload another picture, but I also have another one where you can really see the beginning and the end of the rainbow. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Is this where you live or where you work?
Yeah, that's like 1 minute from where I live. So
Mhm.
I think at the end of every day, or not every day, but some days, I do like a walk to clear my mind a little bit after a day of working. And yeah, this was yeah during that walk, I was almost home, and then yeah, I
Mhm.
was in this big rainy kind of situation, so I was really wet. But it rained for like 2 minutes, very hard, and then the sun came through, and then that rainbow appeared. And I saw on Instagram that like yeah, everybody that I know in Ghent was posting pictures of it. So I wasn't the only one that saw that.
Sounds magical.
Hey, Christoph, let's talk a little bit about your Lara Streams project, which is
Yeah.
been going pretty great, I'd say.
So have we been talking about it the last time that we talked?
I
I'm not
don't
sure
think I
anymore.
don't think so. I
Yeah, it all was so fast. Yeah, so I released this project called Lero Streamers, which is a site where you can see upcoming live streams from people of the Laravel community. And it was a side project idea I had for quite some time. And yeah, I think at the end of last week, I started building it because I had some time and I wanted not to work, but still code something just for fun. And I wanted to give it a try. If is it even easily possible to get the streams from YouTube? What about Twitch? And I had this idea to make it very quickly in 2 hours, just a little demo. And yeah, it seemed to be working quite well. And then I talked to Freek about it, and he also liked it. And people were already asking if I can make the repository public. And yeah, now we are 40 pull requests in already, and so much has happened. And I was working a lot this week just on this side project, and it was a lot of fun. And I think that's the most important thing to me first, because it was a lot of fun for me, and also that it also motivated me because so many people yeah, enjoyed the page and thought that it was useful. And I think that's something that yeah, brings joy to me, because I didn't expect that reaction. So I thought it would be useful, but a lot of people were very happy about this. And yeah, I think this is why it also made me so happy, and why I spent so much time this week on it.
yeah, I think it's also a very fun project to let other people help you on because it's like a simple thing, and
Yeah.
it's easy to bring improvements to, and you can easily decide if they make sense or not because it's a kind of an yeah, a simple thing to do, building such a page. But yeah, it's pretty handy. um, I actually checked larastreamers.com to see when this actual stream started. Like, okay, I'll use Lara Streamers. It's probably on there. Ah, yeah, okay, 11 o'clock. It's easier to do that than to go to my own YouTube channel and hunt down the stream. So
Yeah, that's funny. It was the same for me, and I thought, well, okay, this is already useful to me, so
yeah,
it
so
was
that's
already worth the time. Yeah.
yeah, and it certainly must feel good that other people are yeah bringing in PRs, 40 PRs. That's not nothing. That's already quite a lot, and quite some
Yeah.
good PRs came in. I
Yeah.
think.
So yeah, very good one. So um, can I share my screen
Yeah,
for a
sure.
second? Mhm. Let me just bring in
Pom
my
pom pom pom
screen.
pom, Christophe. Pom 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 pom
Yeah,
pom.
I'm doing the break. Let me try only share my browser. Do you see the website now?
Yes.
Okay, perfectly. So Yeah, one of the biggest improvements was by Lars. He polished everything up from this design point of view. So you can already see that it looks much cleaner than my first approach on it, because I didn't spend too much time on the design, and I'm also no expert in this field. So I'm very happy that Lars came in and did a lot of little polishing things that made it already look very much better. And then Adrian also did a lot of refactoring on the back with some nice additions. And you also came in, and now we're tweeting automatically. By the way, let me check here. We have a tweet here. That's, by the way, the account Lara Streamer. So we're tweeting out every stream when it is live. Yes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's one. Yeah, that's also nice. That's what you did. What's also cool. And then now we have this nice little calendar button here where you can download the calendar file for all the upcoming streams, or you can just click the button and then directly add a subscription to your calendar. I haven't done this before myself in any application, so it was nice for me seeing how this is done. So that's also cool. And we also have these buttons here now for the calendar. So yeah, lots of very good and nice improvements by other people. And yeah, I think it's also cool for them. Wait, let me just stop sharing my screen. And because the project was at a very early stage, so lots of opportunities for people to join and work on little stuff. Or also the footer, someone added the footer in a pull request. So yeah, it's nice. And it's also, for me, it was a little bit new, because I haven't been working that much with other people on open source packages or projects yet. So I have a few packages out there, but there's not too much work to do. And I was very a little bit blown away by the issues and the pull requests this week. So I have no idea how you guys handle those sparsy packages, because it was a lot of time that I spent just checking pull requests and then making a decision about, is it useful or not? Do I want to change it? Do I like the code? And does it conflict with other stuff people are already working on? And then pull requests come in with people doing something without talking to you first. And then you maybe have to tell them, actually, I don't want to do this, or I don't need this. And this then also feels a little bit bad. So I have now much more respect for the work that you do on your open source packages, because it's a lot. It really is a lot.
Yeah, thank you. It can be a lot, and certainly if it's the first time that you're getting overwhelmed with PRs and issues, yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, it can be overwhelming.
I think also for me it was maybe more difficult because I was so excited and I didn't want anybody to wait for my reply. So I was, oh my God, there's a pull request. Okay, I need to check it immediately. And I think the more you do the stuff, the more relaxed you are, and people can wait as well. So
Yeah, indeed. Sometimes it's how I handle PRs and issues is like I have like a dedicated mailbox for that, and that's like my list of things that I check. And I know that people don't want to have like a response immediately, but if that list grows of things I have to check, then I get also a little bit, I need to do this, and I feel a little bit of pressure. But I've learned to handle it over the years, and I guess my colleagues have as well. I think that most of the sparsy stuff is now pretty stable. So we know that the issues that come in, or that the PRs that come in, it's not really urgent because it's working for everybody else already, and that helps.
So it's more about maybe new features or very specific use cases. So
I think an actual bug, a breaking bug that just broke it for everybody, it has been a while since we had one of those. Yeah, because also tests will also inform you if you break like the core functionality of the package. So that results in a little bit of less stress. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think this also must feel good for you. So that most packages are out there already for quite some time and quite stable. And for me, it also feels a little bit that you guys are releasing a little bit less packages. than the last years. Could this be, or is
Yeah.
it just my?
No, it's
Yeah.
true, and it has a simple reason actually, or it has two simple reasons. Um, I think up until like a few years ago, um, we had clients at Spasi that had like smallish projects that took us like a month and a half or something. And then in each project, we found something that we could open source and build in the next project. But now we only have a couple of very big clients, so we don't have too much new projects. And after a while on such a project, we have open sourced everything that we could open source about it, but we're still on the same project. We've never made packages that we don't use ourselves. So if there's no need to make a package, then we don't make a package. That's
Yeah,
like
sure.
that's like one reason. And the second reason is up until I think last year, we didn't have any paid products. Now we have paid products, and a lot of time is invested in those as well. So things like Ray, Media Library Pro, the event sourcing package.
Mail
Those
coach.
are Mail Coach, indeed. Yeah, how could I forget Mail Coach? A ton of
That was a
work.
big one. Yeah.
Yeah, a ton of work has gotten into Mail Coach, and Mail Coach itself exists as like 10 packages or something. And
Oh
yeah,
wow.
a lot
Yeah.
of time is spent creating and maintaining those as well. And yeah, those are, I can really say a little bit on a higher level than the rest of the packages. They need to be because we sell them.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
yeah, that's why there's like less output or of the number of packages. But I think the work that we put into those has remained the same, but it's more focused on making things better.
Yeah.
And
Also
also,
maintaining. Sorry.
go ahead.
I was also mentioning that maintaining is, of course, more work now that you have more packages than it was at the beginning. So
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, most of the packages, or a lot of them, have seen updates so that they are working with PHP 8, and I think about one third or one fourth is PHP 8 only now. But those aren't like the sexy things, you know. You can tweet that on Twitter, like, "Hey, I've made this package PHP only," but you can't do that like 30 times, and it gets a little bit boring. And that's a little bit why it seems like we're a little bit less involved with open source. But I would say that we're a little bit more focused on it. Even though like the number of packages has decreased, the time that we spent on them has remained the same. I think
yeah, I
there are
think
now.
you. Oh, you go first.
I think there are now 3 packages in development that will see the light of day. I think in the next 2 weeks or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I can already tell a little bit about it because this is
Yeah.
like a small crowd, and those are open source. So I about upcoming products, I tend to keep a little bit more quiet. We also have a few upcoming products actually, but can't
Okay.
talk about that.
Yeah, you need to tell me after the call.
Yeah. So there's one package that my colleague Sebastian is mainly working on, and it's a package for working with Google Fonts. So right now, if you want to have like a Google font, you either have to use their CDN, but using the CDN is not so good for privacy reasons, because if you do that, then Google can't track everybody that's on your site just by the font that is loading. Or you need to download the font yourself and make some preparations to do that. And what this package will do, it will give you like a Blade component, Google font. You give it the name of the font, and it will actually download the font for you and cache it locally. So it's something that makes that whole workflow a little bit more easier to work with custom fonts.
Okay, yeah, that sounds nice. I also saw the article of Sebastian, and I've been in the situation too. I think in the past somehow I also had an issue where I didn't want to load it every time from Google in for performance reasons. And there was also some kind of workaround storing it somewhere. I'm not sure how I did it currently. I mostly still use Google Fonts because it's most easiest solution, of course, but would be also eager to try out something else. Does this package always also tackle some kind of updating the font if it changes, something like this? I'm not
I
sure
think
if Google font is changing.
I don't know if it's changing, but we don't foresee that in the package, because if it changes, which would be new to me, it doesn't happen a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And the other two packages that are coming are a little bit related to each other. They have been born in Flare. Actually, we're focusing a little bit more on Flare these days, and it's something that we still have to improve on Flare a little bit, and that is the search of errors. So be happy to search all of the occurrences, millions of occurrences in our database. We use Elasticsearch, and we've made two packages. We've made one package to easily create a search parameters array for Elasticsearch. So if you want to query Elasticsearch, you have to build like this array object saying this is the kind of information that I want to have. There were a couple of already out there, but we want to make one of our own because we want to really be very clean. So that's one package. So to talk to Elasticsearch, and the other package is to convert a string, a sort of query string, to an Elasticsearch query. So I don't know if you ever use like the GitHub Advanced Search or something. You can just do things like type a query, but then you can do also author double point, then the author name, and then that string will only look on the author issues before, and then a date, something like that. And that package, it will convert a string like that into an Elasticsearch query. So it's easy to make like a more advanced search. I should
better
say
usability for searching.
Yeah. And that also took a little while to get right. My colleagues Alex and Ruben were mostly working on that. But I did a review of it yesterday, and it looked already pretty good. So I think that's for the next week or the week after.
Okay, so nobody has to be afraid. Spasti are still making packages, all good.
Yeah. Still continuing to do that. Yeah, I also have a couple of ideas that aren't worked on yet. Another one that I can also mention. Let me share my screen for this one. This was the one I was actually working on before we made the call. Let's see if I can put it on my screen. Yeah, it's this. Wait, is everything that is not supposed to be on my screen gone? Now it is. Let's share the screen. Share this one. Is this? You probably know it. So it's Ignition. But what is special about this is that this Ignition is Laravel specific, right? Well, we're changing that. So this error page is rendered in a framework agnostic project. You can see it in the frames here. This is just Valet, and this is actually the entire application. So we just register Ignition, still have to improve that, make them static or something, and then it just works. And this is like an empty PHP project, Ignition app. Let me show you.
Okay. So did you had any requests for this, or did you need to use it for one of your projects, or how did you came up with the idea?
Well, some people were actually asking about it because they want
Mhm.
to. They use mainly Laravel, but they also have a couple of other projects. They wish they could use the same error page instead of
Yeah.
whoops or nothing else, and that's why we're doing this. You can see here this is the entire application, so it's just
Mhm.
yeah, that's it, and then you get this. And it's also a little bit about commercial interest as well, because many people think that Flare is for Laravel projects only, but it
Mm.
handles
Oh, yeah.
PHP framework agnostic projects pretty well. And this is, yeah, a little bit like a sort of cool advertisement, I'd say. Like, hey, this is Ignition. You can share something on Flare, and then we hope that people discover Flare as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, especially if like we are very connected to like the Laravel community, the Laravel bubble, so called, and then it's often difficult to reach people outside, or maybe people outside know you, but they always connect you with a specific framework or something, and then they think, okay, maybe it's only for them and not for me or for us. And
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea to do that so people can see, okay, this is for everyone. And I think also for Laravel developers who are already used to Ignition and the nice arrow pages and how arrows look like, if you have this arrow in every application that you use, it's of course much better.
Yeah, indeed. I see a remark from Tom. Make it the default WordPress error handler. That could be possible then. I don't know how the error page in WordPress actually looks like.
Yeah, I was thinking
Um,
about that as well. I don't know out of my head, but I'm
I
sure it's
actually
not.
don't know.
I'm sure it's not
Dude,
nice.
yeah, it. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if they just don't have it. If it's just like the
Yeah,
white background and the black string, something like that. So yeah,
yeah.
maybe this will help. So yeah,
When was
it's
the last? Oh, sorry.
go
You go
ahead, go
first.
ahead.
I was just
Yeah,
asking, when was the last time you were, sorry, when was the
with
last time you were working on a WordPress project?
well, actually yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Now I'm
yeah,
curious.
yeah. I was making like a promo video for Ray for WordPress because there are
Ah,
some
yeah.
WordPress specific things there as well. It is, yeah, WordPress development. Yeah, I'm new to it, so it's all a little bit strange to me. But things that we take for granted, not even in Laravel, but in PHP, you can't take them for granted in WordPress, and it's like what? So Ray is like a package you can pull in, right, with some HTTP calls that are made to the Ray app. Well, a WordPress plugin doesn't have access to like Composer, so uh, you can't count on the fact that it's there. So what you need to do is actually run Composer and keep all of the vendor files also in your plugin. So you ship the
Mm-hmm.
vendor directory, but then you're
Oh,
at this point that others do this as well, and that for example, if you use a Symfony component, well, your package may use a Symfony component Symfony 5, and the other one can use component Symfony 4, which are named the same.
mm-hmm.
Only one will be loaded, but you're not guaranteed to get like your version of Symfony. So what do you need to do? You need to rewrite all the namespaces in your vendor and prefix it with something of your own, so that you
Oh,
surely
yeah.
stuff like that. And it's like, what are we doing here?
Why do I have to do this?
Yeah, it's
So,
because like the plugin system of WordPress was designed before the composer days, I guess,
yeah,
and yeah, they still just use it.
yeah. I'm also very careful with my WordPress complainings, because first I'm so far away from it that I can't too much about it anymore because I haven't used it so far for a long time, and know a few people who are using it daily for their work and who are really good coders, and they know how to use it the best way you can do this, also with Composer and tests and everything. And so yeah, it always depends, but of course
Hmm.
WordPress is targeted for like everybody, and of course you have things there that are yeah not as we're used to them, like in with
Hmm.
Laravel applications.
Yeah, and I really don't want to shit on WordPress or something like that because indeed a lot of people depend on it, and some people have built some very cool things on it. I where my friction mainly comes from is I'm building like a part of a developer tool there that should work everywhere, so you can't just count on anything, you know. I think
Yeah,
if you make like a modern WordPress app now, you probably will add some layer between it that you can't just write all code there and just
yeah,
do it in a clean way. But for my particular thing, I just couldn't do that. I want
yeah,
to say
sounds
something else
difficult.
about WordPress development, but yeah, one thing that I did like about it is like the fact that there are hooks for everything. So in a Laravel application, we're like accustomed to do that, right? If you want to
Yeah.
listen for every query, you just do db listen, and you can just listen to everything that is happening, no matter where it comes from. And with WordPress hooks, you can mostly do the same. It's very easy to just know when a query was executed. Yeah, and that is pretty nice because I was worrying about that. Like this will be maybe be hard in a Symfony application. I still haven't figured out how to do that.
Oh,
So how
really?
to automatically determine like, hey, something like Doctrine is loaded and it's performing a query without having to do without having to do a lot of boilerplate. I
Hmm.
still haven't figured this out, and a colleague of mine has tried to make it work. And there's yeah, we didn't find like the right places or the right documentation to do that. So for now, we just gave up to do it to do like a Ray for Symphony, which is like a shame because it's so close to Laravel, but due to the way it's set up, it's really difficult to do the things right. Or I haven't gotten the right experience to do
Yeah,
it right.
maybe it needs more effort, but I think it would be very cool to have it, of course, for
Hmm.
Symphony as well, because it will be useful to them too.
Hmm. I hope so. Yeah, they can still use it, like the framework agnostic thing. They can do it, but I really want to do like the niceties that we do for Laravel. I want to do that for Symfony as well. That would be cool to say like, hey, you can just see all Symfony queries. You can see all the mails that
Yeah,
are sent, stuff like that. You know, that's what makes it for me also very useful. I think in Laravel, one of the functions that I use in Ray the most is like the ability to render mails. Like it's just sending a mail locally. Laravel by default writes it to the log. It gets displays in Ray. There is like zero configuration to get that, and that's the things I've one of the things that I've been enjoying myself about it.
yeah. For me, it was already a big improvement that you can just return it and it will be rendered in the browser, which is also very nice. But of course, if you can do it with Ray without just returning something, is of course much better then.
Hey Christoph, do you because I've talked here quite a bit now about like future ideas and projects. You've just like recorded a course. It's finished, which is already a major achievement. Can you share a little bit about like your future plans? What
Mhm.
you're going to do? Do you already have plans? And
Yeah,
can you and do you are you willing to say something about it?
yeah, that's the other point. It's interesting
Yeah.
question because I was thinking about this a lot yesterday. So I'm at a point in my year where I have to think now a lot about the next half of the year. So for me, the first half is almost done with my client work, what I have to do with the project that I wanted to do, and now I have to think about the second half of the year. And my plan was to have a second product this year for the second half, and I
Mm-hmm.
have an idea. I have this
Mm-hmm.
already for almost a year. So this was the plan to work on this one, but I couldn't start yet because of my client work and the other course, and I'm not sure if I'm already at the point where I can say, okay, this is what I want to do as my second project this year, and I want to go through. So I haven't decided on this yet. It will be a little bit different from my last product. And also, funnily, yesterday or 2 days ago, a friend of mine came to me with an idea for a kind of paid package for the Laravel world, and with an idea of some nice features. And he said he has this idea for quite some time, and he doesn't want to do this alone because, of course, having a project, a paid package, is a lot of work to
Mm-hmm.
just make it work for us. But then you also have to promote it, you have to sell it and all those things, and he doesn't want to do this alone. And he asked me if I want to join, and we are now thinking if we want to do this together. And I'm thinking if the idea is good enough to go through and try it and give it a try. And maybe we also start with this next week or in 2 weeks. So I'm right at the decision point here
Cool.
where I'm not sure what will be the next project for me, but I'm sure there will be one. So it's
Mm-hmm.
exciting for me because I really want to do another one. Also because mastering PHP Storm is now kind of finished, and I have to think about other things now and have more time.
Yeah, that's the
So
nice thing I think about courses, that they can be finished.
yeah,
You can
I,
update them
I
maybe
also
in a year or something, but now it's, yeah, just let the sales come in, I guess.
that's what what I also like about books or courses. They are kind of finished. You can update them, but mostly they are finished. But if you're building a kind of SaaS project, then you have to
Hmm.
do this a long time to make it profitable and to maintain it. And that's a big decision, of course. If you
Hmm.
decide after 1 year it's not that interesting to you anymore, it could be difficult. And I also think was interesting, there was this podcast with Adam Wetton and someone else, and maybe it was with Steve Shogo already, and they were talking about what it will be with Tailwind UI and what they want to do with it. And they also discussed if they want to have some kind of subscription model or if they want
Yeah,
to sell it like for once.
I
Do you
remember
remember
that
that?
call. Yeah, that there was Ian Lanterman, I think, on the other end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and Adam running through, explaining what the product is, not knowing really what it was and how they could sell it, stuff like that. And they were indeed talking about like a subscription thing, but the subscription thing might feel a little bit bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and we need to add this to the show notes, but this was a really nice podcast episode and with some good
Hmm.
insights. And Adam had also concerns. What would it be? Do I have to do now Tailwind for the rest of my life if I do some kind of subscription idea? He didn't go with the subscription idea, but I think he still has to work with Tailwind now for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So I think it still turned out differently. But you have to think about those things too. And that's why I also think video courses are very nice because you can finish them and then maybe you can do something else. But
Yeah.
of course, something like a SaaS application is also interesting, especially on the long run.
Let me answer a quick question here. I think the podcast was the Full Stack Radio podcast.
Yeah.
I think from Adam Wetterman itself. I think about a year ago, some episode there. I think.
Let me look it up real quick.
While you're looking that up, I'll share my thoughts on SaaS versus products.
Yeah.
And it's indeed like a kind of different model. I think most people, or no, I'm going to say this differently. Maybe 5 years ago, I thought if you want to be your own man in software development where you don't depend on clients, you have to have a SaaS. That's like the only thing that you can do. But I think that yeah, a lot of people have proven now that just having a separate digital product, either software or a course, is a perfectly valid way to also make money in a sustainable way. And in some cases it's even better because with a video course there's zero maintenance for that. Now if you have
Yeah.
like an evergreen course, hopefully sales will still keep on growing. But when you have like a course that is tied to a very specific technical thing, then you only have the peak, and then it goes down, and then it goes a little bit further. Where with the SaaS, if it's a good SaaS, it's mostly just going up every month, and it takes a while to get to like a sustainable level. But if you get there, you're like in a very good place. Like for example, I can share this because he shared that on Twitter. Like Simon from what's it called again? His service on
Shooter?
backups. Sorry.
Snap Shooter. I think it was,
Snapshooter,
right?
indeed. Yeah. He, I think he reached like 10K in a month. Yeah, which is pretty nice because then you can live off that. You don't need to have another job, and you can calmly work a little bit farther on it. As if you're having like a course that's having like a little bit of a bump, and then it goes away, you already have to think about the next course. Where with the SaaS, you can basically say to yourself, hey, the pace can go a little bit more down because if it's a good SaaS, then it will just go up and up and up.
Yeah, I think it's especially interesting with Simon because I think we both saw his talk at Laracon EU
Yeah,
Amsterdam 3 or 4 years ago.
yeah, in
It
the
was an
tent.
unconference talk where he shared how he started with Snapshooter and how he made it to a point where he could pay his mortgage. So it was a very early stage of his product, but he already had some nice insights, and we all remember this talk because it was really interesting. And we all had this idea of doing some kind of SaaS application at one point, and I'm very happy for him that he made it that far. And you can see it took him quite some time to get there. So I'm pretty sure it was a lot of work to make this happen. So he can be really proud on what he achieved here.
Yeah, indeed. I think he worked like 3 years on it before it became a little bit sustainable. Um, and I also know I interviewed him also on a stream, I think a couple of months ago, and he said that he was also very happy not to do his regular job anymore. That he was like his own man, and that can feel good. Also lots of thoughts on that, like versus being your own man versus being an employee. There's also like benefits of being an employee as well. Sometimes I miss them if I'm honest, but it's also be good to be your own man. I think that as an employee, it can be a little bit easier. I think not to put your whole character in the job. I think if you're like your own man, I don't know how it's with you, Christoph, but the business is always a little bit on the back of your mind. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? And I feel like one of the big things as an employee is that, like, if it's not good anymore, I'll just find another job, or find
You
a better
can go
job.
out on Friday evening and it's like, okay, I don't have to do anything on the weekend. Of course, maybe it depends on what job you have, but also if you go on vacation, you mostly don't need to take your laptop with you, which I always have to do. And
Yeah.
I think I'm already used to it, but sometimes I also think about those times where it was a little bit easier in terms of the little pressure that you always have in the back of your mind, because now I already have to think about the next half of the year. Do I make enough money? What projects do I need? Currently, it looks like I need to find maybe 1 or 2 new projects this year, which I hoped I didn't need to do. But one of the clients I was working with is can't afford me anymore for the next month because of some other reasons, so I have to replan a little bit. And yeah, always thinking about then the next year already. So these are a lot of things that you have to think about if you're your own boss. And it's okay, but of course it has some drawbacks for sure.
I still remember like quitting my first job, which I did like 6 or 7 years or something. And I still remember the feeling like, okay, I know the systems of this company very well. It was like a big bank. And like the feeling, I'm now allowed to forget it all, all the little nitpicks, all the knowledge. I don't need it anymore. I can just forget it. Nobody's going to ask me anything about it anymore. It was like a joyous thing in my mind. Like I I have so much room now because I can just forget everything, and that's something that yeah I likely won't have anymore because our products and projects now tend to stay for like a very long time at Spatie. But yeah, I still remember like walking with joy through the streets with that fact, like I'm free.
I can very much relate to that. Also, thinking about when I decided to quit my last job where I was an employee, and of course, it was very hard for me because I loved the company, but there were some other issues, and I also wanted to do my own thing, and it was very stressful. But at the moment when I decided and when I communicated it, it was like, wow, okay. So I had to work maybe 2 or 3 months till I was really gone, but I already felt like, okay, then I go out and I can do whatever I want to do. And it was very special for me too.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
there's one
I
comment
think.
by Adrian, which I think is also interesting to talk about for a little bit. So we were talking a little bit about SaaS application compared to some kind of products like a video course or a book, which you just create and then mostly it's done. And then Caleb came up and showed us there is a different way to make a living from your sponsoring. So I've seen people getting sponsored before. What was the platform people were using before? Um,
um
Patriot, Patriot,
Patreon. Yeah, Patreon. That
Patreon.
was
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I've seen it, I've heard of it, but it wasn't really much on my view that much, and I didn't know many people were using it a lot. And then with GitHub sponsoring, yeah, this changed, of course, a lot because many people, especially in the open source world, were now using it. And then Caleb came and yeah, crashed it and has an amazing amount of sponsors now and making a living from this. What would be very difficult for me because I don't have GitHub sponsoring enabled, because I feel like it puts some pressure on me that I have to provide something for people that sponsor me, and it's very difficult to say what this is. If I do a blog post or a podcast episode or a free package, does it help the people that are sponsoring me? Do they pay for this, or for what do they pay for? And I don't like if it's not very concrete what people get. Also, if I would pay someone on GitHub sponsors, I think it would be, or it should be very clear what I do get. So I think maybe that's just specific to me, but I think for me this would be very difficult to define how I would set this up in my mind, what people pay for me as a sponsor and what do I give them. I think it's a little bit different with Caleb because he has Livewire and Alpine. So yeah, most people pay for his work on those 2, 3 products. But yeah, what do you think about
Yeah, I think for you it
this?
could work as well, but I think that like sponsorship, indeed harder to define what's it for. But if it would be very easy to define, you would just invoice the people that benefit from your work. And
Yeah,
this relation is a little bit more muddier in sponsorship. But I think in your case, you can't define like the value that you provide in like this is a piece of code or something. I think
yeah,
let's take for instance Lara streamers, right? Um, you not only give value to the people using the site, It brings value to some people, but what you also bring value to is like the people you allow to work on it, to allow to work on it in their streams, so they get
Mhm.
a little bit of their place in the spotlight because of the project that you created. Also, Lara streamers, it uses Laravel, so Laravel is mentioned the whole time, so it's like an advertisement for Laravel as well. So it brings
Yeah.
value to Laravel and the entire ecosystem there. You use certain packages from certain people, so you bring value to that too. And that's only Lara streamers. And I'm not talking about like the fact that you tweet, that you blog, that you try to connect with people on conferences. Those things are all worth something to people outside of yourself. It's hard to quantify or to even give like a description in 5 sentences of what that is, but it certainly
Mhm.
brings value. And I think in your case, it wouldn't be I think it wouldn't be strange if you would turn on sponsorship and say, "Hey, I'm Christoph. I make projects. I do streams. I sometimes make a package, and I'm active in the Laravel community." And that's already
Yeah.
enough, I guess. If you want to go that route, that's my honor. Those are just my honest stream of thoughts on it.
Yeah, these are all good points because, of course, I don't have to decide what it is, what people value in the work that I do, because this could be very different. I think I think it's more just for me the pressure if I have like, let's say I have 100 subscribers or
Mhm.
sponsors, and for me, okay, thinking about, okay, I haven't done a blog article for like a month, or I haven't done a
Yeah.
podcast within 3 weeks. Do I have to do this, or do I have to set for me goals in my head, like, okay, now I have so many sponsors, I should do maybe one blog article every 2 weeks, one podcast every 2 weeks. I should make that amount of streams. So I maybe overthink it, but that's mostly how my brain works. And I think I would have to think about those things. And I think that's why I haven't decided to do it yet. But I also think your points are good. So maybe I have to think about it a little bit more.
Here's a good point by Nathan also. It's a lot like Twitch. Some people are just happy to sponsor just because they enjoy the content, don't necessarily expect something in return. I think
Yeah.
that is indeed exactly what you would you could do as well. Just do whatever you do, and people just like that. And if they don't like it, they can stop sponsoring.
They can
But
stop. Yeah.
yeah, but of course I understand that it gives a little bit of pressure in your head. But I think it wouldn't be a bad thing if you just try to not think about that pressure.
Yeah.
I don't think you should feel guilty about that.
Yeah. I think that's personal to me, that I often overthink those things. But yeah, and of course, I could just try it out and see if people value the things that I do. Yeah, but for me, then also, then I might have to promote that that people can sponsor me now, and then I feel like, okay, I'm one of those who promoting that you.
But I
Yeah,
don't think that's really bad. I think
yeah,
you could just turn it. You could just turn it on if you wanted to. Just make a single tweet or make it appear in your newsletter, something like that. You don't have to do it like you advertise a paid course or something like that, where you really want to
yeah.
bring the message
Push it.
and a few times. Here you can do it like in a very subtle way, like, hey, I turned it on. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. You won't hurt anybody with just turning it on,
Yeah, sure. That's true for sure. Um, how do you still have some minutes, or do you have to leave at a specific
No,
time?
no, no, no. I still have some minutes. Little children are at the school. They only come
Okay,
back in
cool.
the evening, so I'm all alone here.
Okay, that's cool. Because I wanted to ask you, how did GitHub Action change for Sparsy? Because
GitHub
before this, you were sponsoring. Sorry, you were
sponsoring.
sponsoring,
Yeah.
sponsoring. because before this you were doing it all for free, and then you started having some products, and then you were saying, okay, if you like the stuff that we do, please check our products, of course. And I think this worked pretty sure okay-ish or good. And
It's
now you
okay.
have GitHub sponsoring too.
Yeah.
And do you feel like it's better now, it's more complicated, it's again okay-ish, or what do you think about it from kind of company point of view?
Well, let's start with the situation before GitHub sponsoring. Yeah, we did a lot of stuff, yeah, for free, but we got a lot of value back. We made our name a little bit in the community and landed some cool projects with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just this wasn't intended. So I always call it we built like an accidental audience where we could sell stuff to. And yeah, in the company point of view, yeah, it's I think for the bank account in the short run, it would be better to just say to everybody, because everybody in our company is allowed to work on open source for X hours a week, like just work for clients, and then yeah, we just get the cash and that's it. But yeah, for us, there's like value with building a name. Also, it's fun for people doing the open source stuff, so they can build their own name a little bit as well and explore a little bit. So I think as a company, in shortly said, it was very much worth that investment. Now within Spatie is basically, I think of Spatie sometimes as two companies in one now, where like there's one leg that's doing the client work, and there's one leg that's doing the product work. And in that product work, yeah, a lot of open source time is spent there as well. And I see like having like a revenue stream through the sponsors as like a way of when there's like doubt of doing it open source or just not doing it the project, or not polish it a little bit polish it a little bit less, then right now that nudges me a little bit more to saying, hey, we'll open source it and we'll polish it just a little bit more, because some of like the costs are already covered through sponsorships. So it definitely helps. Now, on the other hand, I don't want to depend on sponsorships alone, because that's for Caleb it worked out, but I don't know how to replicate that. And it's certainly not our intention to do so much open source to also depend only on that income stream, because that income stream is very volatile. I think you can't really count on it. I think selling stuff and making good stuff is a more sure way of making things profitable. So I see the sponsorships as like a very nice side thing to do that gives us a little bit more leniency in just allowing people to work on open source. But it is we don't count on it as like a business model or something. But what Caleb has done, it's really cool. I don't know how to replicate that. I think it's part of like the particular problems that Caleb choose to solve. They're like very good problems to work on. Certainly something like Alpine, and also the energy that he has. That's just his personality that he brings to the table.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're going to do this, and like, doing the work very confident, enthusiastically, and very well. That's something that you just can't copy. I feel like, or I'm going to speak for myself, I feel like I'm a little bit more laid back. Like, I can't do like the stuff that Caleb does with like, whoa, we're going to do this. That's just not me. But I think that because he has that character, that certainly helps to convince people like, hey, this is fun. Let's do it. This guy should really continue doing this. So
I think so too. It's very unique situation he's in, and I also haven't seen anyone even close to what he has done in terms of GitHub sponsoring and building his own way of making money around this. And as you said, his energetic way of presenting and doing stuff, I think this of course also helps, and gives you also a good feeling about what he's doing, and he takes you with you on this journey. And I think
Yeah.
I'm also a little bit more in the laid back
Hmm.
personality like you are. So it's really special, and I also don't think you can easily recreate this.
No, I don't think so too. I don't know. Yeah, that maybe next time that I see Caleb in person, I'm going to maybe ask like, "Hey, what do you think yourself? What made this happen?" Because it's indeed very very special. I don't think there are any rules like follow these and then you'll get uh, you'll get sustainable through sponsorware.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are paying so that they don't have to work with JavaScript that much anymore. And I think this was a big pain point for a lot of people.
Indeed. Hey, Christoph, we're already 1 hour in. Um, I think it's a good time to start wrapping a little bit up, and I still have time if you want to address some specific question, but it's also getting a little bit uh, um,
Hungry?
around noon, so we're getting a little
Mhm.
bit hungry. That's why we do it at 11, right? So the hunger
Yeah.
stops us.
No, I don't have anything else to address. We could check if there are any more questions, if we should handle them. But besides that, I'm also good with our 1 hour calls.
Let's see here. I use a Twitter and Discord notification account recently to buy a PS5. It's surprising that the amount of people that tip the account using to buy me a coffee service. So wait, do I understand this correctly? Some people were using like a notification service, and you got paid some money.
It sounds like
That
this. I'm also not
that
sure, but
that would be pretty amazing. Yeah,
because also getting a PS5 right now is not that easy, from what I've
yeah.
heard. So
Indeed, I
this
need
is
to know
an achievement
this
on its own.
notification service. Yeah.
But congrats. So I think I saw a comment by Adrian somewhere where he also said I could, at least for layer streamers, pay like the server and the domain with GitHub sponsors, for example. So it's not like it already helps just maintaining things that you do and not already giving you a profit.
Indeed, indeed. Hey, Christoph, back to gaming. Maybe one last question. Uh, have you gamed in the past few months, or is it quiet on that front?
It's quite quiet for me. So I haven't played now for I think 2.5 or 3 weeks. So not at all. Just because I had a lot of things to do, and I mostly play Apex Legends,
Ah, yeah,
like I
yeah,
think I already mentioned, and it's this kind of shooter game. So when you stop playing it for a few days, then it gets always a little bit more difficult to get back in, because it needs some time to get
yeah.
used to it again, to for the aiming and stuff. So after the first 3 or 4 days, it was really hard not playing it, but then it gets a little bit easier. And now I'm at a point where I haven't played it for that long that it's very difficult for me to
Hmm.
start it. So that's why I haven't played. But I know you told me you were playing a new game. What was it? Was it?
Yeah, I was doing the Resident Evil one. That
Yeah, right. How is
yeah,
it?
I finished it yesterday.
Oh,
Actually,
cool.
it was pretty good. It was a good entry. I didn't play a lot of Resident Evil games when they originally released, except from Resident Evil 4, which was on the GameCube, I believe. But I didn't
Mhm.
have a PlayStation before. But recently they've remastered like Resident Evil 2 and 3. They got like very good reviews. So I thought, hey, I like horror games, so let's try it out. And yeah, so I thought, yeah, I'm doing the modern one as well. And then yeah, I really liked it. Great
Was
graphics,
it
great
scary?
atmosphere. Well, I'm not easily scared, so I guess for
Okay.
some people it's a little bit scary. I don't think I got a jump scare or something in there, but it was like a very good dready atmosphere, which I really like
Mhm.
in games. Um, I think one where was the last time I had some jump scares. It was some horror game, some low-key horror game from Taiwan that where um, you only play in a flat, so only in the flat building. It's something indie, and it's a guy about the
Mhm.
story and a relation to his daughter and his wife. I'm not going to spoil it. Um, the ending or something, but there were some pretty nasty things in there. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, and to
Okay.
answer the question of Nathan, for me it's PC, for you it's a console, right?
Yeah, for me it's PS5.
Yeah. Okay, Christoph, I think this is
Cool.
a good point to start wrapping it up.
Yes.
Another good edition, and I guess we'll do this again next month, right?
Yeah, we should do that for sure. And I also like today, yeah, we had no idea what to talk about, but we somehow turned into this product discussion about SaaS, normal product, sponsoring. And yeah, that's what I like about those casual calls. We have no plans and we just see where it leads us or where people lead our conversation. And I think it turned out pretty good again.
Yeah, yeah. For the seventh time, I think that this is. Yeah. Okay, Christoph. Yeah, I'll probably see you in another stream where we work on our streams a little bit. But
Probably, yeah.
for this one, we'll do it. We'll do it next month again.
Yeah, thank you
Okay.
again
Yeah.
for having me doing this together. Thanks everybody for watching. And
Yes.
yeah, see you the next time.
Hi. Bye. Bye. Everybody. Bye, Christoph.
Bye.